We're gonna start on our backs. Knees up to the ceiling, feet flat on the floor. Rest your head nice and easy on the mat. Relax those arms, relax the belly. And let's start by taking a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Again, inhale, filling up that belly, feeling it expand like a balloon on the inhale. And then on the exhale, feel it deflate. Place your palms on your low belly. Deep inhale. Feel your hands expand and press upward on the inhale. And then on the exhale, feel your hands sink down into that belly. Let's do a few more on your own. Inhale and exhale. Nice and easy, nice and smooth. And then let's bring the palms of our hands to the mat, down by our sides, and walk your heels in closer to your butt. I want your spine nice and flat on the mat. Your spine is in a neutral position. Your pelvis, your hips are in a neutral position. So there might be a little gap underneath your back where you could fit a blueberry. That's a neutral position. And then when I want you to squish the blueberry and flatten your back completely, your pelvis is gonna rock upward and you're gonna squish that blueberry and your back is gonna be glued to the floor. Like you can't even put a piece of paper under that back. Okay? And then release that pelvis back to its neutral position and you can fit a little blueberry underneath there. Let's do that tuck and release a couple of times. So tuck that pelvis. So think of the front of the pubic bone lifting upward, squishing the blueberry, removing any space. And then exhale, release the pelvis. The movement's super minimal. Release the pelvis, find that area for the blueberry again. Let's do that again. Pull the front of the pubic bone up, gluing that low back to the floor. And then rock the pelvis back into a neutral position. Good. Let's sway our knees right and left. Nice and gentle windshield wipers. We're not knocking our knees all the way down to the side yet. Just nice and easy. Find stillness with those legs. Let's reach our arms up to the ceiling. Fingertips reaching up to the ceiling. Open the arms out to the side so your palms are towards the ceiling. Inhale, lift the hands up. Exhale, open the arms out. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, open the arms out. Press into the heels. Flip the palms down to the mat. So now you have two surfaces, two separate surfaces. You have your feet and your hands. Press into the mat with all of these surfaces and gently lift your hips about 1 inch off the mat. So we're lifting our hips 1 inch off the mat. Go ahead and sway those hips right and left. We're waking up that low back because we're about to get into a nice restorative twist here. And find stillness, lower the back down, gently rock the knees right and left. Reposition, I want all those surfaces flat on the floor like you're a spaceship that's landing. So you have your palms as your surface, your feet as your surface. And lift those hips 1 inch or 2 off the mat. And then from here, I want you to just scoot those hips over to the left. And then place them down. So now you feel slightly crooked, totally fine because our spine is gonna go in alignment once we drop our knees over to the side. So drop them over to the side, stack the knees on top of one another. Deep breath into that twist. Keep those palms facing the floor so you're also getting a stretch in the arms. Deep breath. First twist of the morning for a lot of us. Be easy, be gentle. Extend that top leg out to the side. It doesn't have to go up high or it doesn't have to do anything special. It doesn't even have to stay straight. I just want you to unstack it, extend it out a little bit over top of that bottom leg. And now, if you can, turn your head over to that opposite shoulder so you're continuing this spiral. And of course, whenever we're in any of these stretches, what do? We breathe. So inhale, exhale, settles into the pose. Inhale, expand those ribs. Breathe into that twist, into the arm, into the side of the leg, into the neck. Exhale, settle. Let gravity do the work here. And then bring that top leg back over the bottom. Bring those knees back up to the ceiling. Notice your hips are slightly off center. So what are we going to do? Press into our palms, press into our heels. Lift the hips 2 inches off the mat. Recenter our hips and place them down. Give those knees a little wiggle. Adjust your shoulders if you need to. Same thing, other side. Find stillness with those knees. Walk those heels in a bit more. Press into the palms, press into the feet. Lift the hips 2 inches. Rock the hips over to the other side this time. Drop the pelvis. You feel a little crooked here. Drop the knees over to the side. Stack the top leg on top of the bottom. Deep breath. Our spine is in alignment. One side might feel a little tighter than the other. Deep breath. Extend the top leg any which way. Doesn't have to be straight, but it can. Just extend it a little bit more so you're increasing that stretch. Arms are still down by out to the side. And you can look over to the opposite direction so you're continuing that spiral. Deep breath. Remember, the exhale settles you, melts you into the pose. Good, keep breathing. Activate those palms a little bit so you can get a little bit deeper of a stretch. A little bit deeper of a twist. Inhale. Exhale. Bend that top knee back over the bottom. Gently bring those knees back up to the ceiling. Press into the heels, press into the palms, recenter those hips. Drop them down, rock those knees right and left. Good. Let's go ahead and tuck our knees into our forehead. Pull them into your chest. Forehead to knees as much as you can. Rock a little right and left. You can rock a little forward and back. And then release everything down to the mat. Straight legs, straight arms down by your side. You're in Shavasana, which is a yoga pose. Corpse pose, literally laying flat on the ground. Close your eyes a moment. Deep inhale. Feel the ribs expand. Exhale. Good. Open those eyes. Turn those legs to parallel. So toes up to the ceiling, knees up to the ceiling. Feeling that rotation come from your hips. So rotating everything parallel. Reach those arms up to the ceiling. So my core is activated, but there still is a little space for a blueberry under my back. We're in a nice neutral pelvis. Reach those thumbs up overhead towards the floor behind you. The tricky part here is that I don't want you arching up. So you want to keep everything intact here. Zippered up, knitted like a shoelace on your abdomen and core. Everything is holding you in. So your thumbs might not touch the floor. And then release, bring everything up to the ceiling, relax everything down to the ground, wiggle those hips. It's a lot of work, even though we're not really doing too much. Good, let's bring everything back to parallel. Turn those toes up to the ceiling, knees up to the ceiling, all from the hip joint. Reach those arms up overhead. Check in with that belly. Pull the front of the pubic bone up a little bit. Activate that core. There's still space for our blueberry. Thumbs are going to reach up behind you. Pull in, have a shoelace tied all through your torso. Reach, reach, reach. Reach the arms back up and then relax everything down to the ground. Bend those knees, pull them into your chest, rock a little right and left. And then we're going to make our way up to a seated position. So you can rock and roll or make your way to a seated position, however you need to get there. We're going to start in butterfly position, so soles of the feet together. If this position is very hard for you, grab a pillow, a yoga block, a blanket, a couple of blankets, a phone book, if we even have those laying around anymore. Sit on that. That's going to give you a little bit more space so your back isn't going to be so rounded. Hold on to those ankles. Really pull that chest through those legs. Move your butt muscles out of the way so that your sit bones can be really rooted into the mat. Shoulders down the back, collarbones spread nice and wide. Bring those ears right over the shoulders. Deep breath in. Exhale. Tuck that chin into the chest. Roll down through the spine. Try to think one vertebrae at a time. As you drop the head towards your feet, only go as low as you can. This is our first roll down of the day. You can sway a little side to side. Opening up those hips. You can use your elbows to gently press into those thighs if that feels good for you. Or you can just stay where you are and rock. And find center. Pull that low belly in. Roll up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. So again, I like to use this analogy. Remember those old school trains that were connected by magnets? So it was like one. Well, imagine our vertebrae, but much tinier, of course, all moving one at a time. So we want to really articulate the spine instead of just moving the spine in one piece. So let's try again. Visualize it. It might not be happening, or you might not be able to feel it, but you can visualize it. So close those eyes, tuck the chin into the chest, roll through the spine, one little train at a time, all the way down as low as you can go. Finally, when you're in your lowest spot, gently whip your head side to side like you're itching your chin on your chest or on your shirt. And then find center, roll up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Last thing to right is the head on top of the shoulders. Roll those shoulders back for me. Let's make our way to all fours. Knees underneath those hips, wrists stacked underneath the shoulders. The knees are also hip distance apart. Your low belly is pulled in to protect that low back, so you have a very nice flat surface area, and you're looking about a foot in front of your fingertips. Begin to shift forward and back, just warming up the wrists a little bit. Good, and then let's make circles in one direction, so my whole body's getting into this. Moving. My fingertips are spread nice and wide, and let's reverse those circles. Good. Let's reach our leg back. Any leg you want, reach it back. I want the toes flat on the floor, the heel up to the ceiling. Try to think of all 5 toes on the mat. The baby toe might be a little kickstand. The last 2 toes might be a kickstand, depending on the shape of your foot. Go ahead and press forward and back. So you're really working and stretching the bottom of that foot, getting into the calf. My core is still lifted into my back. And I'm still looking about a foot in front of my fingertips. So I have one long line out through the crown of my head through my tailbone. Find stillness with this leg, really press into that heel. Now we're getting a really nice calf stretch. I'm really pressing into my hands here. Lower that knee down to the mat, reach that other leg back, all 5 toes on the mat. Gently rock forward and back. Notice your hips, make sure one is not down. You want them level. You want to be able to balance a cup of coffee right on that sacrum. So that nice triangle bone right at the base of your spine that goes into your butt. Rocking. Check where your gaze is. Find stillness, press into that heel. So press with your hands, press into that heel, getting a nice calf stretch. Drop that knee down, rock those hips right and left. So side to side, just rock the hips. Good. Find stillness, reach one arm out to the side, twist it up to the ceiling. So really press into the hand that's in the mat, reaching up towards the ceiling. Then weave that hand underneath, bringing the ear down to the mat. Deep breath here for this shoulder stretch. If this is too intense for you, sit this one out. You can go into some cat-cows with the spine. Good. Press into the hand that's on the floor supporting you and reach that arm back up to the ceiling. Twist. Exhale, bring that hand down. Opposite arm reaches out to the side. Twist it up to the ceiling. Press into this hand, supporting hand. Weave it underneath. Bring the opposite ear down to the floor like you're listening for something. You can always use this supporting hand. Press into it to get more traction in this shoulder stretch. Deep breath. Press into the supporting hand. Reach that arm up. Twist. Exhale. Hands come down. Little shifts forward and back. Let's make our way to stand. Our feet are parallel. Let's tuck that chin into the chest. Roll down through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Keep a slight bend in your knees. Nod the head yes. Shake the head no. Wiggle the shoulders. Bend the knees. Suck that belly and roll up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Roll those shoulders back. Inhale, bring those arms up overhead. Exhale. Hands come down.